Welcome to MyLITV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we've traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. MyLITV starts now. If you don't have a car on Long Island, it's extremely difficult to lead a productive life. To address the problem, a group of concerned citizens met in Garden City.
So there's a bike path from Eisenhower Park to Oak Street. None on Oak Street, none on Westbury. But
I have been commuting by bike for a long time and trying to be as car-free as possible. And rather than coming home annoyed about the fact that it's so hard to be without a car in Long Island, I decided that I'd really rather do something to advocate for it to be more convenient and to allow more people to go without a car in Long Island.
So Sylvia launched Carless Long Island, which caught the attention of a local newspaper.
The article in the Anton papers that came out, I've gotten a lot of supportive emails and people who want to help me. A lot of them can't make the meetings because one thing is if you're commuting without a car, and not all of, I own a car. I want to be as much without a car as possible, but I'm not anti-car. But if you are commuting without a car, it really is hard to get from place to place in Long Island.
To raise awareness about commuting on a bicycle, the group is planning its first event.
And I was thinking of making it light to bring people who aren't yet convinced.
We're thinking of doing a bike to work fashion show. So a parade where you can show you can bike someplace and not have to wear Lycra. Not that Lycra's bad, but you can actually wear things that you would wear to work or close to.
Jim started commuting on his bike after the gas crisis in the mid-1970s.
People were online with their cars getting into fist fights, 2 hours, 3 hours to get some gas. I said, there's got to be a better way. So I bought a bike. I lived at the time in Glen Oaks and started commuting to work in Maspeth in Queens. Now I live in Floral Park and I commute to Fresh Meadows. I use my bike for everything. If I have to pick up a few groceries, the car's in the driveway. I own a car. I just take the bike. It's just so much easier.
Jessica joined the group after her green experience while working at an Ivy League university.
I moved down from Connecticut, New Haven in particular, where I owned both a bike and a car, but I commuted primarily by bike from my home to my office where I worked at Yale University. I got a job here at Hofstra, and so I moved to Long Island, and I live in Long Beach, where you would think that a beach community would be very bicycle friendly, but there is no physical way for me to get from Long Beach to Hofstra safely.
Even biking within Long Beach, the group says there's much left to be desired.
I love seeing people city biking throughout New York City, and Long Beach in particular just got something called social biking. So in New York, in addition to the city bikes, you had huge amounts of bike lanes put in, and that's been a huge investment that the city has made in not just putting city bikes there, but making city bikes attractive to people who aren't daredevil bikers. Long Beach doesn't have bike lanes in much of the city.
Victor is from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I live in Levingtown and work in East Meadow, so it's about 25 minutes by bike. So it would be pretty nice to have it safe infrastructure for me to commute.
He also feels that bikes are ideal to run errands around our Long Island neighborhoods.
The distance to supermarket and shops are very good for bicycles. It's not very far and not that close that you can just walk. So the distance here fits pretty much to the bicycle transportation.
This movement is not just about alternative transportation.
It's about being able to just introduce exercise into your life. And I love that, and I was able to do that in New Haven, and I miss it terribly when I'm here.
Sylvia believes that on Long Island, it's not far-fetched to use a bike as your primary vehicle.
You can get far on a bike, unlike walking. You can go 100 miles in a day if you're in shape. You can use it for reasonable commuting within Long Island. If you've got reasonable bike lanes, you can go reasonably quickly on a bike.